This weekend, something extraordinary happened in the United States of America. Streets from Washington D.C. to Los Angeles filled with voices, angry, passionate, determined, all shouting two powerful words, "No kings." It wasn't a concert, it wasn't a political rally, it was a wake-up call. Millions of Americans, students, veterans, parents, workers, all stood together with a single message: no one is above the people. From the nation's capital to the smallest towns in the Midwest, Americans came out in numbers the country hasn't seen in years. A simple phrase that started online has become a symbol of frustration, of unity, and maybe of a revolution waiting to happen. So what exactly triggered this nationwide roar? Let's break down the protest that has shaken Washington and could change the future of American politics forever. It began quietly with a tweet. A user posted a simple message: no kings, no rulers, just people. Within hours, it exploded across social media. The phrase became a rallying cry for millions frustrated by rising inequality, political corruption, and what many call a system built for the powerful, not the people. The message hit deep, not just among the left or the right, but across all sides. Conservatives saw it as a stand against government overreach. Liberals saw it as a call for equality and justice. Independents saw it as a reminder of what democracy is supposed to be. Suddenly, hashtags like #NoKings 2025 and Power to the People were everywhere. It wasn't about one politician or party anymore. It was about a principle that democracy doesn't wear a crown. October 18th, 2025, a date that will likely be remembered in history books. The morning started peacefully. Small gatherings in a few cities. But by afternoon, the movement had exploded into something massive. In Washington, D.C., tens of thousands surrounded the Capitol, carrying banners that read, "No crowns in a republic, we are the people, and stop ruling, start serving." From the air, the city looked like a sea of humanity. Endless waves of people united under one message. In New York, chants of "No Kings" echoed through Times Square. In Chicago, protesters filled Millennium Park with American flags. In Los Angeles, downtown turned into a wall of sound as musicians, artists, and speakers joined the crowd. Families marched with their children. Veterans held signs reading, "We fought for freedom, not for rulers." And in small towns, places often ignored by media, people marched too. It wasn't organized by one group or funded by a political campaign. It was a spontaneous wave of public emotion that spread like wildfire. To understand why millions took to the streets, you have to look deeper. For years, Americans have felt the pressure. Inflation rising, wages staying the same, billionaires getting richer, and trust in the system fading. Political scandals, court controversies, and endless partisan fights have made people feel powerless. Many believe politicians now serve their parties and donors, not the public. The "No Kings" slogan captured that frustration perfectly. It wasn't about a monarchy. It was about power being concentrated in too few hands. Protesters said they're tired of watching laws bend for the rich, while ordinary people struggle just to survive. And this time, instead of shouting online, they stepped outside and turned their anger into action. The media response was instant and divided. Some outlets called it the biggest nonpartisan protest of the decade. Others claimed it was a dangerous uprising, fueled by misinformation and anti-government sentiment. On social media, the debate was fierce. Supporters called it a peaceful revolution, a reminder that democracy still lives in the streets. Critics said it was reckless, that it could spark instability before the 2026 elections. Inside Washington, officials held emergency meetings. The White House released a statement urging peace and understanding, calling the protests a sign of democracy's strength. But sources inside Capitol Hill admitted the scale of the protests shocked everyone. For a moment, the powerful were forced to listen. Because when millions of people march and say, "No kings," even the loudest, politicians fall silent. What made this protest so different is that it wasn't just about anger. It was about hope. The crowds weren't calling for destruction. They were demanding renewal. Protesters talked about wanting honesty, fairness, and leadership that remembers its duty to the people. One sign went viral online: "We don't hate government. We just want it back." It summed up the spirit of the movement, not rebellion, but restoration. This wasn't a cry to tear America apart. It was a cry to make it honest again. Around the world, the images of American streets filled with peaceful protesters went viral. From London to Tokyo, major news outlets called it democracy's revival. Experts say this could inspire similar movements in other democracies struggling with corruption and inequality. But here at home, the big question remains: what happens next? Will this movement grow into a new political force or fade like so many before it? The organizers say they're not done yet. They plan to push for reform, transparency, and civic education programs to remind Americans that real power lies in participation, not personality. Whether you agree with it or not, No Kings was more than a protest. It was a reflection of America's heart. A reminder that power, when left unchecked, can turn democracy into a crown. The people spoke loudly, clearly, and together. The question is, will anyone in power truly listen? So, what do you think? Is No Kings the beginning of real change or just another moment of frustration? Comment your thoughts below. Because in the end, the future of democracy doesn't depend on rulers. It depends on us.